What if I told you that motivation is the enemy of progress? Sounds crazy, right? But let me explain. You see, motivation is a spark. It burns bright for a moment, then disappears. It's exciting. It's emotional. It makes you believe you can conquer the world. But what happens when that feeling fades? What happens on the mornings when you wake up tired? When your mind whispers that it's easier to quit? When the weight of your struggles feels unbearable? In those moments, motivation is nowhere to be found. We've all been there. We've all started with a burst of energy, eager to begin, but then life happened. Doubts crept in, distractions arose, and suddenly, the dream we were so passionate about seemed miles away. The harsh truth is this: motivation isn't reliable. It's inconsistent, unpredictable, and often fleeting. Yet most of us rely on motivation to take action, to start new projects, to chase our dreams. Why? Because that's what society tells us to do. They tell us to listen to our hearts, to follow our passions, to pursue what makes us happy. But this advice has a fatal flaw. It sets us up for failure. It leads us to believe that success comes from feelings, from momentary rushes of enthusiasm rather than from the cold, hard facts of consistent action. Think back to all the times you started something with great enthusiasm, only to abandon it weeks or months later. How many fitness goals have you set? Diets you've begun? Books you've wanted to read? Skills you've wanted to learn? All with a burst of motivation, followed by a crash of inactivity? You see, motivation is a liar. It deceives us into thinking we're making progress when we're only fooling ourselves. So if motivation is so unreliable, what should we rely on instead? What's the secret to achieving our goals, to building our dreams, to creating the life we truly desire? The answer lies within this word: discipline. Discipline is what carries you forward when motivation abandons you. Discipline is commitment. It's the quiet force that drives us forward, especially when we don't feel like it. It doesn't care about our moods, our feelings, or our doubts. Discipline simply says do it anyway. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. You're probably thinking, okay, yeah, I get it. Motivation isn't enough. I need discipline. But how do I do that? How do I become more disciplined? Well, it starts with understanding what discipline truly is. It's not punishment, it's freedom. Discipline is freedom from the tyranny of our emotions, free from the whims of our desires. When we practice discipline, we become masters of ourselves, not slaves to our feelings. Here's the beautiful thing about discipline. It doesn't wait for the right timing, the perfect circumstances, or the right mood. It just shows up every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's happening around you. You see, motivation is like a wave. It rises, it crashes, and then it retreats. But discipline is like a steady, unwavering ocean current. It may not be as visible, but its power is constant and its direction is unwavering. Let me ask you this: what's more admirable? Someone who accomplishes their goals because they felt motivated along the way? Or someone who achieves their dreams despite facing countless obstacles and setbacks? The answer is clear. The second option is far more impressive because it embodies resilience, grit, and determination. The truth is, we don't need more motivation. We already have all the motivation we need within us. The problem is that we don't know how to access it consistently. We get caught up in the excitement of a new idea, the allure of a fresh start, and we throw ourselves into it with reckless abandon. But as the novelty wears off, we're left drained, demotivated, and disillusioned. Discipline is what allows you to keep moving forward when motivation fails you. It's what enables you to stick to your goals even when you encounter setbacks. Discipline is what transforms a dream into reality. Do you want to succeed in your relationships, career, health, or finances? The answer isn't more motivation, it's better discipline. By developing ironclad discipline, you become the architect of your own life. You gain control over your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. You may be thinking, this all sounds well and good, but how do I actually develop discipline? How do I go from being unmotivated to highly disciplined? Well, it starts with understanding that discipline is a skill, not a trait. And like any skill, It can be learned, and it can be improved. Here's the first step: set clear goals. Without clear goals, you're just floating through life. You're at the mercy of your emotions and the whims of others. But when you have a well-defined target, when you know exactly what you want to achieve, then it becomes easier to stay focused, to resist distractions, and to push through challenges. Your goals give you a sense of direction and purpose. They remind you why you're doing what you're doing, and why it's worth sacrificing instant gratification for long-term success. Next, prioritize your goals. We all have multiple commitments, obligations, and responsibilities vying for our attention. But if you want to achieve your goals, you have to prioritize them. You have to decide that your personal growth, your career aspirations, or your fitness targets are important enough to warrant your time, effort, and focus. Remember, you can't give everyone a piece of you and still have whole pieces to give. Now here's the crucial part. Establish routines. Routines provide structure, consistency, and momentum. When you have a routine that aligns with your goals, you're more likely to stay on track even when you don't feel motivated. Routines make it easier to resist temptations, to avoid distractions, and to maintain a steady pace towards your goals. And finally, monitor your progress. Progress, whether in your personal life or professional life, rarely feels linear. There are always ups and downs, highs and lows, but if you want to stay motivated and maintain your discipline, it's essential to monitor your progress regularly. By tracking your progress, you can celebrate your accomplishments, big or small. You can acknowledge your growth and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. And remember, progress isn't just about reaching the end goal. It's also about the journey, the lessons you learn, the character you build, and the challenges you overcome along the way. You see, discipline is the path to true freedom. It's the ability to align your actions with your deepest values, beliefs, and aspirations. With discipline, you become the author of your own life story, shaping each page with intention, focus, and unwavering resolve. Embrace the power of discipline. Let it guide you, challenge you, and transform you into the best version of yourself. In a world that glorifies quick fixes, shortcuts, and instant gratification, remember that lasting success comes from consistent action, unwavering focus, and the courage to face challenges head-on. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Instead, cultivate the discipline to act now. Trust in the process. Trust in your ability to grow, adapt, and overcome. And as you do, you'll find that motivation follows, not always leading the way, but joining you in the journey, celebrating your triumphs and supporting you through the inevitable setbacks. Remember, you don't need motivation to take the first step. You don't need motivation to keep moving forward. You just need discipline. So go ahead, take that step. Embrace the discipline. Live intentionally, focus relentlessly, and trust in your ability to create the life you desire. The motivation will come. The passion will ignite. But ultimately, it's your discipline that will carry you to the finish line. It's your discipline that will make all the difference.